weekly business podcast by Ruhi. Today I'm joined by a very inspirational and amazing guest, Kuda Biza, who's the co-founder of Nonbelievable, hashtag This Is My Era, Signables, and AFR Clothing. So hi Kuda, could you give a brief kind of introduction to my audience about who you are and what you do?
Well, I think you already gave it, right? I am the co-founder to the businesses that you've mentioned, Nonbelievable, This Is My Era, Signables. And, I'm a serial entrepreneur who's really focused on building profitable businesses that have an impact. So I'm really focused on providing education to those in need and also to helping solve the hunger crisis globally.
Wow, that's an amazing mission and amazing purpose and vision for your business. So, could you share a bit about your journey with co-founding Nonbelievable?
Yeah, so with Nonbelievable, what happened was that I got a phone call while I was in corporate America. So at the time, I was working for a fairly large multi-billion dollar Fortune 500 company, and I was running about a $80 million e-commerce division. And when I got this call, the thesis was, hey, there's a group of guys who want to build an a mission-based cookie company. And based on your experience, we feel that you can really come in and add some value here. And what I had done is I created a meal delivery business that I grew to $25 million in revenue, in less than 3 years by partnering up with a fairly large food company here in the US. And obviously with my e-commerce experience. So the idea was to come in and really take this vision from an idea on a napkin into a business. And I had experienced hunger while living in Zimbabwe because I grew up in Zimbabwe. So in 1992, when I was still in Zimbabwe, there was a drought, a severe drought. And because of this drought, everybody, in Zimbabwe was struggling, and hunger was an issue. So I had a huge, motivation to want to join this mission because I wanted to be part of the solution, having experienced hunger growing up. So I quit my corporate job, and I decided to join this group of change agents to start Nonbelievable. And we're a mission-based cookie company. We donate a meal for every cookie that we sell. And we've been doing that ever since November last year. So we're about a year old now. And right now we've provided food for close to 200,000 people. So we're excited about the progress that we've made. And we're super excited with what's to come.
Wow, that's an amazing story that you've shared. And also, I loved your personal connection as well with Zimbabwe and how you kind of tied that in as well with the mission and why you decided to work for Nonbelievable and why you decided to kind of continue this journey. And I'm wishing you all the very success and with this Nonbelievable venture.
To donate 1 million meals by 2022. So that's the target, and hope we can exceed it.
Yeah, I wishing you all the success in that. And also, could you share any business strategies that you've learned working and co-founding Nonbelievable, and kind of how, yeah, any business growth strategies you would love to share?
Sure. I think the first thing you need to realize is that sales is the engine for any business. So I think the number one hack as a business owner is to really figure out how to drive sales, because you might have the best idea, you might have, a breakthrough idea, but if you don't have a really well thought out sales funnel, it will be very difficult for you to grow. And the driver for sales is marketing, because the job for marketing is really to create demand for your product. So the beauty about this is that now we live in a very digital age where you can leverage, social media, you know, uh, technology and other assets to really drive growth. So one of the things that we did was obviously leverage Facebook, Instagram, you know, to really drive awareness about our product and to get in front of a lot of people early on. The second thing that we did is we really created a community around it, because word of mouth is the most powerful marketing activity ever. So it was super important for us to get raving fans behind the product, behind the brand, talking about it and bringing in people within their ecosystems. So that's another business strategy I would encourage any business owner to think about. Like, how can you quickly get raving fans, not just customers, but people who would speak about your brand, on top of the mountain and wherever. It's super important for you to think about that. And then the last strategy I would throw out there is diversity. So similar to like how you diversify a stock portfolio, you need to diversify your sales channels. So for example, we sell on our website. That's one sales channel. Another sales channel is that we sell on Amazon. Another sales channel pre-COVID was we would go to events and do in-person sampling and so forth and so forth. So by having multiple sales channel, it insulates you, in case one struggles. So like, let's say if there's something happening on Amazon and sales are down, but because you're also selling on your website and you're also selling in all these other channels, it can really help insulate any headwinds that you might face in one channel. But more importantly, assuming there are no headwinds and everything are tailwinds, it actually helps you get to your goal faster, because now your product is being sold in multiple distribution points. So as any business owner, I think really quickly thinking about how do you scale and get more points of distribution is a strategy I would really echo all the time.
Wow, those are some amazing and great points you have shared. And I loved your point on kind of raving fans. And so my next question was more along the lines of branding. So how can a company or some organization kind of build up their brand, and what are the strategies and kind of things you would have for people who want to kind of do that?
Yeah, so for branding, I think it really needs to be centered on one thing, and it's authenticity. I think a brand needs to be authentic and very, very genuine, because when you're authentic, people can relate to it, and it's you start building a fabric and a DNA around who you are. So for Non-Believable, we were very authentic about who we are. We are a mission-based cookie company, and we want to make a difference. We're fun, we're approachable, we're humorous, and you can see it through our language. We use non-puns. We're very approachable. So though we're targeting a very serious issue, hunger, we're doing it in a very fun and approachable way. And when you do that, you get to create a good sense of emotion within your consumer segment. And then you're able to build a brand around that, because not only are you approachable, but people enjoy being around the brand. So I think that's what you want to think about, because think of a brand as a person as a personality, a character. So the way I would think about it is that if your brand was a person, would you want to hang around your brand, right? So if you're thinking about creating that brand that you want to build, think of it as a person, and would you hang out and spend the day or have lunch or have a beer or whatever with your brand if it was a person? If the answer is no, then you have a little bit of work to do. But if the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. So you need to then really think about how can you answer that question around your brand personality, your brand character, but more importantly, ultimately, if your brand was a person, would people want to hang out with you? That's the question I would say you need to go out and answer while you're developing your brand.
Wow, that was some amazing insight you shared on how to create branding. And I loved your point and your whole kind of explanation about how to kind of create a brand based on whether you would want to actually hang around that person. That was a very impactful point that you shared. And So my next kind of point is moving away from non-believable and all that. So could you explain like your journey behind starting signables, and like how you went about branding and like creating partnerships with like all these Premier League teams? And yeah, so could you explain a bit about that?
So, are you a soccer lover? Do you watch soccer?
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Manchester United because my twin brother got me introduced to the sport. So I've just been kind of, yeah, supporting that team. So yeah, that's why this question I was very keen to ask you about.
Okay, so who's your favorite player?
Favorite player would have to be Messi.
Well, Signables is a passion project. As you alluded to, we have licensing with a lot of the top soccer teams in the world. Um, you know, the Premier League teams from Chelsea, Liverpool. We don't have Manchester United, but we do have Manchester City. We also have Paris Saint-Germain and a few Mexican teams. And my friend, who I went to university with, actually came up with the idea. She and her father created a patent around a sports collectible. And when they had the patent and they were really figuring out how to bring it to market, they reached out to me. And being a serial entrepreneur, for me, it was something that really excited me because I'm a big soccer fan. I'm a Chelsea fan. So I quickly saw, how to connect the dots, and we approached the soccer teams, and the soccer team said yes. And we've been able to launch it into the marketplace. We sell it in the US and in the UK. We're having tremendous success online. Obviously, right now, given COVID, but even before COVID, we were actually in the stores. So we're the Arsenal store, we're the Chelsea store, and we're working our way to get into the other stores. But, Signables is a true testament of how anything is possible, right? I'm a kid from Zimbabwe who's now doing business with the top premiership teams. So anything is possible. You just need to put your mind to it and believe and persevere and not give up. And if you have a good idea, you attract, greatness, and you'll be able to achieve greatness. So we're really proud of what we've been able to achieve with Signables. We're still very young, but hopefully pretty soon we'll be able to grow and become a household brand and have everybody across the world knowing about our products.